I'm Julie Herman of Jaybird Quilts and Lazy Girl Designs, and welcome to the Great Gift Sew-Along. We wanted to get crafty with you as the holiday season approaches, so I've put together the best of our best patterns for you to make handcrafted gifts for your loved ones with ease and joy. We'll be making Perfect Pouches by Lazy Girl Designs, Rock Candy Table Topper by Jaybird Quilts, Sweetpea Pods by Lazy Girl Designs, and finishing up with the Candy Dish Pillow by Jaybird Quilts, which we're going to begin now. In this video, we're going to go over fabric selection to maximize your fussy cutting abilities. Sign up to receive the sew-along emails and worksheets at the link posted in the video description below. Let's get started. This is Candy Dish, a sweet 16-inch pillow made up of hexagons and triangles. And in this sew-along, we are going to focus on fussy cutting. We're going to use the Jaybird Quilts Fussy Cut Shapes. These are those. There's 6 in the package. We're going to focus on 2 of them, the hexagon and the triangle, to make the shapes needed for the Candy Dish pillow. So for example, I used the hexagon to cut this little shape here. So you can see this is Tula Pink's Tiny Beast. I've got this little apple and the little creature. Today we're going to talk about fabric selection for fussy cutting for Candy Dish. Candy Dish uses one of my favorite shapes, which is the 4.5-inch hexagon. And there are so many possibilities with this shape. It really lends itself so very well to fussy cutting. The example that I showed was Tula Pink's Tiny Beast. And this works really well with the hexagon because you can get the entire deer or a flower. You can get 1 raccoon. Sometimes, depending on the placement, you can even get 2 raccoons. Here's the bear. You can get the whole bear. There's just a lot of possibilities. There's also some other fabrics that I want to talk about that may be good or not good with this shape. So some things for you to think about when picking out your fabrics. This is Tula Pink's Homemade. And this is from a couple years ago, and it is sewing themed, and I think it's still available many places. So this is a sewing machine, and how cute would that sewing machine be? Just perfectly fussy cut in there. Oh my goodness. So this collection has a lot of pieces that would do really, really well. This one has scissors and thread. So there's a couple different options with this one. You could feature this spool of thread with these 2 hands. You could feature the scissors with the eyes. You could feature these needles with like the thread that's going through them with the eyes at the bottom versus the eyes at the top with the scissors. There's prints that have measuring tape, and there's not as specific of something to fussy cut in this, but I think with Candy Dish, there's so many pieces that you can kind of get away with having a feature here and there and then some more supporting actors, and I would consider this a supporting actor. It still does have benefit from fussy cutting. Now this, on the other hand, I think is a little too plain for doing the fussy cutting, so I think this is a distraction, not a supporting actor. I think any one of these little, there's supposed to be little hand stitches, would work really well as the background, but not as one of the hexagons. So the background is made up of triangles. So this would work really well for those, but you're gonna have your kind of like little supporting actors, and then you have these scissors. Got a lot of the little scissors in the rotary cutter. And you can kind of move this around so that you can get like a rotary cutter and a pair of scissors and try and chop off as few pieces. And keep in mind, you don't have to go with the bias or with the straight grain. You're gonna have bias on 4 of your 6 sides anyway. So if you want to fussy cut these 2, turn the piece to whatever direction you want to get the piece. Just keep in mind with Candy Dish that you do have a flat top and a flat bottom. So arrange your fabric so you know your scissors are going to be on their side or whatever it is with the fabric that you have chosen to cut. So some other options are Tula Pink's All Stars. This bird would look really good, or this flower. Oh, that's perfect. See, this is where I love the hexagon because it gives you just enough space and it gives you the little crosshairs. We'll talk more about that in the next video for the actual cutting, but it just gives you such gorgeous space to really feature something nice and circular like this. I think that would be a great option. The bee, which I talked about, the bee print, which I talked about when we did the rock candy sew along, that I said wouldn't work great with the diamond, would work great with the hexagon. So with the diamond, we just lost too much of the character, so you couldn't tell what it is, but it works great with the hexagon because you're getting the bee's body, the stinger, and the wings, so you know what it is. So that would make for a really good option for rock candy. And then another one would be the frog, and again, so good. You can have the little frog's head up there, and you get most of the body. You don't get the hands and the feet, but I think you got to be careful with fussy cutting. You never want to just like chop off just a toe or just a finger, but if you chop off all of them, it's a little more natural and not as awkward. So you just got to be careful and aware of what you're chopping and where. Which is why it's really great to have the fussy cut shapes to move around to audition. So here we could get this little one, and we would lose a part of the tail, but I think it's okay. Still get so much of the beauty of the face and the shape. And then some things, just as they were too large for rock candy, I think are probably too large for candy dish as well. So that would be, let's see. The owl might actually work. I think the owl works best in Delight because you get the whole body, but it does work. It does work with the hexagon with this size for candy dish. So really we haven't found much yet that doesn't work, which is kind of awesome. So many possibilities. That's great. You get the bird. Let's see how the snake would turn out. My fabric's already a little bit Swiss cheese from other projects. This is just kind of how I work. So I will cut out things and I leave my fabric as Swiss cheese. And then I just cut around it and get as many shapes as I can. So this is actually ignoring the snake for a minute. That's actually a really cool flower. And I think if you get just the edge of the snake and you don't even realize it's a snake, it just kind of blends in with the leaves. So you could do that. Or you can move down here and get this flower with the snake head. And lastly, I have a couple prints that I had pulled from Parisville. And so this I didn't think worked as well for rock candy, but I do think it works better here because you get the majority of the design in the hexagon and you can get the nice ship here. And then this is one of those that is definitely more of a supporting actor. It's going to be hard in something this size to really get the full effect of this print. This is really meant to be seen large scale, but this would be a good supporting actor to kind of blend in with some other hexagons. Sometimes when you have so many characters, so many different animals, you want a couple of them to kind of, I don't want to say fade into the background, but it almost is fade into the background. If you look carefully at mine, that I made out of this tiny beast, some of them are more stars than others. So these raccoons, because they're high contrast of their background, are always stars. The deer are stars. Now these bears are just a little more low contrast in the colors to their background. So even when you fussy cut them, they're a little bit more supporting actors. These ladybugs, they're just really tiny, and so you're going to get a lot of them, so they're definitely more supporting actors. If you have this in the large scale, which I have on the way, I'm wondering if this would do really well to fussy cut one individual from the large scale backing. Note to self, that could be really cool. And then also like another one that's kind of going to be a supporting actor is this print with the fox, because it kind of blends into the background. So I would still take the time to fussy cut the fox, but know that this is not where your eye's first going to be drawn when you're looking at a finished project. You're going to see right away the hedgehog, you're going to see the raccoon, you're going to see the deer. So just keep that in mind as you pick out your fabrics. And one last note is something that I had suggested with rock candy, which I think is really helpful here as well, which is when you're auditioning your fabrics, use your phone as a tool. So it can be hard sometimes to remember exactly what you wanted to fussy cut and where. So I will take my shape, put it on top of what I want, and then take my phone out and snap a photo. And I'll just continue to do that with all of my fabrics. And that way I can go back later and reference and be like, did I want this owl? Did I want that owl? What was I thinking? And for fabrics like, which one? Like this one? Yeah. So fabrics like this one that have lots of possibilities, photos are extra helpful because they can really help you remember the different options. So for this one, I had the little spool of thread, and then I also had the idea to do the scissors with the eyes at the top, and then also I'd have to open the fabric a little more because I don't have enough there. Sorry, this is all got lots of folds in it. This is just a fat quarter stack that I just took apart to be able to play with. So I could also do it with the eyes at the bottom all the way up to the heart at the top to get those hand sewing needles. So taking the pictures can be really helpful to have something to go back to reference. So start looking through your stash or take out your kit that you might have purchased for this project and begin to look at your fabrics and all of your possibilities. Thank you for tuning in today. If this video was helpful for you, please like it, share your comments with us, and click here to subscribe to this channel. Here are the links to the Great Gift Sew Along videos and some of my other videos you might like. Sign up to receive the Sew Along emails and worksheets at the link posted in the video description below. In our next video, we'll go over fussy cutting and layout. See you soon!